I am pleased to have with me as my guest Sandra Millward, a certified holistic nutritionist who works with Olympic athletes. And she's here today to talk about what is holistic nutrition and her experience with some of the athletes she has worked with. Welcome to the show, Sandra.
Thanks, Christine. I'm really pleased to be here today. Thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome. Well, when did your passion begin?
Passion's a very big word. Some things are a bit of a slower boil. In my case, I think becoming interested in food and nutrition and health and wellness was a slow boil. Started with my parents. I was a child of the 60s and a product of the 60s. Parents who thought outside the box, literally outside of the prepackaged box in packaged foods. And my father used to encourage us to run in the mornings before school. We had to put brewer's yeast on our oatmeal, when really all I wanted to be doing what the other kids were doing was eating Twinkies and things like that. So that's kind of where I got my base, my history. I would say my passion really truly began when I started having children. And I wanted my kids to be healthy and well. I was married to a medaled athlete, and my children were clearly going in the direction of athleticism, and I just wanted my family to be healthy. My passion grew mainly from that.
It's wonderful. And so what is a holistic nutritionist compared to a registered dietitian?
I'm so glad you asked that. I can speak to what a holistic nutritionist does. When we look at nutrition in the body with any human, in this case we're talking athletes, but in any human being, we look at them as unique individuals. So we look at their body, we look at their spirit, and we look at what's going on lifestyle. So we look at you as a whole entity. Often one will trigger the other. For example, the new findings by Dr. Karen Jensen, she's a very famous naturopath here in British Columbia. She's doing research based on the gut, the heart, and the mind health and how they work together. So if our digestion and the food that we're taking in is helping benefit our body, it also is benefiting our heart health, cardiovascular in this case with running, very important, and our brain to think clearly when we're playing sport. We have to be on our game, we have to be thinking. As you know, Paul Romero just won the big race in Ecuador, and one of his goals is really being on his game with his mind, keeping his mind clear. So a holistic nutritionist will look at your whole body, your lifestyle, your spirit, and what challenges your body's under specifically. So I would look at your nutrient density. We do an assessment. We look at what you're lacking in, what you might need to up, what's going on in your life that might be affecting that. Maybe you have stress, maybe you've been through divorce. And then we try to come up with a protocol around food. Wow. And then working into the orthomolecular, we work with naturopaths, or sometimes people can be educated enough in their own to be also adding vitamin support to the body. Wow.
And so with what you do, like holistic nutrition, it helps you anti-aging.
Yeah. And yeah, the big key, right? The fountain of youth. Yes, it is. I think the greatest thing that's come out recently, and I was really pleased to read about Tom Brady. I'm really not a football aficionado, so it was really difficult for me to speak to it. But when I read about his holistic nutrition edge on his training, and obviously clearly his game, being 40, number one, as an athlete who's very, very hard in trying on his body, number two, looking 10 years younger than he is and performing the way he does in the field, he really attributes a lot of that to nutrition. And I've had great experience working with athletes on tour, on the road. I've been to Argentina, I've been to Cape Town. On Monday I'm going to Trinidad, Tobago, where I actually prepare the food for the nutritionist. I am the nutritionist for the athletes, and I see how it affects them, and they do too. So right. I can give you an example if you're interested in hearing. We were on a tour, I won't say who, and we had one night where I actually got an evening off, and that evening the team went out to eat carte blanche, whatever they wanted to have. They'd been eating my food for about a week, and they were feeling the real benefits of the food. They weren't measurable at the time, but they were just feeling good, and it's a combination of having somebody there nurturing, sourcing your food in a foreign country, preparing your food really with love. That's a big key. People forget about that, really making food, sourcing it, getting the best quality. And they had an evening out. And 5 of the athletes came knocking on my door that evening and said, "Oh, we need your help. We've been eating so healthy and so clean. We've overindulged in pizza and beef, and we're really, really not digesting it well. Can you help us?" So
Wow.
it was a really clear indicator to me that nutrition was affecting these athletes. Fine-tuned machines, what goes in, what comes out, and it was really quick. Yeah, so that's my non-scientific research, but.
Wow, and I mean, you deal with all athletes, right? All levels of abilities too?
That particular, yes. I'm working with Olympic athletes. I'm working with the Canadian National Men's Field Hockey Team. I'm super proud of them. They've come a long way. And I'm really proud of them because they brought on a holistic nutritionist. I knew that having that extra edge was going to perhaps be, actually it was described to me by a coach, pardon the pun, the icing on the cake, having a nutritionist come and just give that one little extra layer to fine-tune these fine-tuned machines, and it's proven to be true. I also work with young kids. I went recently on a tour to Florida with some kids going for scholarship. There were 60 athletes. My assistant and I cooked and supported them. I do public lectures. I speak to lawyers. I talk to anti-aging. I do corporate lectures, things like that. So
great.
Yeah.
And Sandra, if people want more information, where can they go?
If they want more information, well, I certainly have a website.
Yes.
It's up and running and moving, and we're vastly adding and changing and incorporating, but you can certainly go to radiatewellness.ca. I'm Sandra Millward. I have a team of people that I'm bringing on. My company's growing really quickly. Holistic nutrition is on the rise. People are getting it, they're understanding it, they're wanting to incorporate it. Radiate Wellness is the place where you're going to get my recipes, some hints. I have a Facebook page, I have a LinkedIn and Instagram.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
thank you so much for coming on the show. I'd like you to come back.
I'd love to. I think we should do a food demo one day.
Yes, we will.
I can teach you how to do a bliss ball or a energy orb, or we could do a quick smoothie to give people that quick get up and go if you like.
Thank you. And we'll be right back after this break.